Okay. Hi, I'm AJ Ho, the director of Effortless English, and welcome to the free 7 rules email course. Today is Ruan. Now, Ruan is learn English phrases, not individual words. This one, just like all the rules, is very simple, very easy, and like the other rules, this rule is very powerful. So simple, so powerful. What is the rule? The rule is always learn phrases, not individual words. So simple. So a phrase is a group of words. It's not you can have whole sentence, but it's a part of sentence. So for example, let's say you have the word hate, H-A-T-E, hate, and you want to learn this new word. You can, write out the word hate, and you find in your dictionary the meaning and memorize it. Hate, 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 hate. That's the other way. That's the kind of tasteful way. That's the school way, right? It's really probably remember a lot of individual words. You have those basic vocabulary list. You try to memorize all of them. Try to memorize all these individual single words. It's not a good way to learn. Much better if you learn a phrase, a group of words. And when do you find these phrases? You find these phrases in the real English podcast that you're listening to, in a real English storybooks that you're reading. So you don't memorize a list in a book. No. You listen to real English, and when you hear a new word, you write it down. Or when you're reading the storybook, you see a new word, you write it down. But do not just write out that word. You want your whole phrase or sentence that's a scene of it. So instead of saying hate, you write down hate. You write down John hates ice cream. You write whole phrase. Why do we do this? What the power of a phrase? Well, phrases give you a lot of information, much more information. Number one, phrases are easier to remember because they have meaning, they have kind of picture, story, especially when you get them from something that you're listening to or reading. You remember it. John has ice cream. You remember the whole story. You remember who John is. You remember he had ice cream and you remember he hated it. He didn't like it, right? So you have all the extra piece of information. All this extra information helps you remember the meaning of phrase and the meaning of that word. So it helps your memory much easier to remember. Number two, this bonus. When you learn phrases, you are learning grammar also. You're not only learning an individual word, you are learning grammar. You're learning how to use that word correctly. You don't need to think about grammar. You don't need to know the rules. They'll automate it. You see, another way that native speakers learn English grammar, because when you're children, we learn with phrases. We learn groups of words, not just one word by one word by one word. Word by word is so slow and it doesn't help. And you don't need any grammar. When you learn the whole phrase, you write down the phrase, you get extra information. Maybe you don't know it, but you are. For example, John has ice cream. Just like what John has, right? John has. When you know from the grammar side that you make it a subject, you agree. You don't need to think about it. Just write down the phrase John has ice cream. Study it and review it. Always learn the phrase, not just that word. So in the future, whenever you say he has ice cream, she has ice cream, you will add that as this as, because right, you're gonna learn it. You learned it correctly. You learned it from the phrase. On the other hand, if you learn from the phrase textbook, you learn the word hate means there is not like. You only learn that from hate. You memorize it. That's what must start making mistake because you learn this only one way. You didn't learn it another words. So sometimes you say he hates ice cream. You forget the S because you never learned it correctly in a sentence in a phrase. So it's a very simple master's course. Very important. Every time you find a new word, always write the phrase on the sentence. When we reveal that word again, when you study it again, always study the entire phrase or sentence. Never study always the whole phrase. Do this every time. And grammar will begin to improve. It improve much faster. And you remember the vocabulary faster and easily. And you will use that vocabulary more quickly. So you get a lot of great benefits. A lot of great stuff happens when you learn phrases instead of words. So phrases, learn them. I hope you enjoy rule number 1. Use this rule. Now your homework, you get a little phrase notebook. So when you find new English vocabulary in lesson and something you're listening to in a book, in article, write down the phrase, not just one word. Write down the entire whole phrase that you find, and then review that phrase again and again each day. You create a notebook full of end phrases, full of sentences, not individual words, never individual words. Okay, that's rule 1. Tomorrow you get another email with rule number 2. So see you tomorrow. Bye bye.